To all the readers, librarians, and teachers at Mrs. Nelson's Toy and Bookshop, thank you so much for your support of Brisingr and the Inheritance Cycle. I hope you're as excited as I am about the September 20th release of Brisingr. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. I wouldn't be here without all of you. I never know how fans are going to react to any book I'm writing, but I certainly hope that fans are going to enjoy Brisingr. I enjoyed writing Brisingr a great deal, and once it's done, I'm just going to sort of launch it off into the world, and hopefully people will enjoy it. It was very difficult to name the third book in the Inheritance Cycle. I considered many different names. Part of the difficulty was that originally this was going to be a trilogy. But since the third book got so long, I had to split it into two different books. So the title I had planned on using no longer applied to the third volume. I considered a whole bunch of different names, and I'm not going to tell you why I named the third book Brisingr. It's very important, of course. But Brisingr itself is a word from Old Norse, and the word means fire. It's actually from Norse mythology. It was a magical necklace that was forged at one point. And actually I've heard that at least a few years ago in Norway, they still call bonfires Brisingr, or Brisingrs, which I think is kind of cool. There are a lot of new characters in the third book. Not so many major characters, but a lot of secondary characters that show up. I was just looking at my file of names and places and that sort of thing, and it's up to, I've got 15 pages of character names. So it's getting pretty daunting, actually, just keeping track of it all, you know, who this this writer was, and this dwarf, and this king, and this queen, and but it's, you know, I enjoy doing it, so it's fun. It's like a giant puzzle. Writing Brisingr has been very different from writing either Eragon or Eldest, mainly because Brisingr ended up much larger than either of those two books. So the whole time I was working on it, I kept thinking, well, you know, I ought to be finishing soon, but I still have, you know, another chunk of the story to finish. And that's why, of course, the trilogy is now 4 books, is now a cycle. And also a large process of writing Brisingr was simply accepting that the series was going to have to be longer than I thought it would be in order to do justice to the story. I think that there are a lot of surprises for readers in Brisingr. There's certainly, well, there's a couple of characters that die, for example. I'm not going to say who. And there's some things that pop up that I think most readers aren't going to expect. At least I hope not. But of course, I can't tell you what those are until you read the book.